Episode 8 of Only Murders in the Building Season 4 blends humor, tension, and emotional depth perfectly. As the mystery of Dudenoff's death unfolds, we're treated to a unique exploration of found families, deception, and how people cope with loss. What initially seems like a straightforward confrontation between the Only Murders team and the Westies quickly evolves into a multi-layered narrative that touches on the deeper themes of loyalty, secrets, and survival.
They're gonna try to humanize themselves with long origin stories.
Exactly. Like, if we had gone through that, we would have killed and eaten Dudenoff too.
We didn't eat him.
Yeah, but you killed him.
From the outset, this episode dives straight into the tension left hanging at the end of Episode 7. The Westies are no longer faceless villains. They're humanized through the stories they share about Dudenoff. Despite the intimidating way Vince, Rudy, and Anna arrive, their personal connection to Dudenoff shines through. This is where the writing excels, playing with our expectations by making the Westies seem like ruthless criminals at first, only to reveal that they were caught in a morally complex situation. Each member of the Westies insists on their innocence, and their claim that Dudenoff left for Portugal comes off as a desperate attempt to preserve his memory and the family they formed around him. The shift in tone, from friendly banter to a locked-room scenario where secrets begin to unravel, keeps the tension high. This locked-in setting mirrors a classic whodunit structure, reminiscent of Clue or Murder on the Orient Express, but with the series' trademark quirky flair.
And it's that you will all keep me alive. Well, I mean, actually, no, because I've just taken a hell of a lot of pills.
The biggest twist in the episode is, of course, the revelation that Dudenoff engineered his own death. This shocking turn adds a darkly comic layer to the story, showing how far Dudenoff was willing to go to protect what he considered his greatest creation, his makeshift family of misfits. It's a classic example of the show's ability to mix absurdity with emotional depth. Dudenoff's plan wasn't just about saving his life or legacy. It was about maintaining the family he'd assembled. His manipulation of the Westies turns out to be less malicious and more of a tragic attempt to give them a future without him. In his eyes, faking his move to Portugal was the only way to ensure that they stayed together. The absurdity of Dudenoff staging his own funeral and asking his friends to dispose of his body in the incinerator after he dies adds a layer of dark humor to the proceedings. The moral dilemma this presents for the Westies is also key to the emotional core of the episode. They're torn between honoring Dudenoff's wishes and the guilt they feel over covering up the truth. Dudenoff's plan also provides a critique of how communities are easily dismantled by outside forces. In this case, real estate developers or opportunists who would swoop in after his death to claim the apartments. This speaks to larger themes of gentrification and the loss of tight-knit communities, with Dudenoff's extreme solution representing the lengths people will go to preserve their version of family.
Helga? What are you doing here?
Mabel reached out on the ham radio. I'm here to tell the truth.
We can't handle the truth.
Helga's introduction in this episode serves as a catalyst for uncovering the truth. Her recounting of how the Westies' behavior shifted when they started obsessing over the Only Murders podcast feels like a sly nod to the show's own impact on its characters' lives. Helga's suspicions about the Westies and her detailed observations demonstrate the show's clever use of minor characters to deliver pivotal information. Her role as a pseudo-detective, piecing together clues from everyday occurrences like power surges and secretive behavior, adds a level of authenticity to the investigative aspect of the series. Helga isn't just a bystander. She's an active participant in unraveling the mystery. When Helga recalls the night Dudenoff disappeared, her suspicions about the old incinerator bring a level of classic noir storytelling into the plot. The idea of hidden bodies and long-forgotten secrets stashed in the basement of a glamorous building like the Arconia feels ripped straight from classic detective novels or Hitchcockian thrillers, where even the most mundane places hide dark secrets.
There was another thing, though. She talked about a stuntman on a movie called Project Ronkonkoma. She said he was her protege, but that he had messed up pretty badly and he was harassing her. She said, he's dangerous and he's gonna be the death of me.
Just when the episode feels like it's tying up its loose ends, the show pulls a classic Only Murders twist. The Westies are cleared of suspicion in Dudenoff's murder, but a new lead emerges in the case of Sazz's death. Helga's information about Sazz ham radio conversations with her dangerous stuntman, Gleb Stubbins, reintroduces the sense of danger and raises the stakes as we approach the final episodes of the season. This last-minute reveal about Gleb being a potential killer hints at a darker undercurrent to the mystery, as the show shifts its focus from the whimsical and absurd elements of the Westies to a more serious and potentially violent threat. What makes this final twist so compelling is how it not only keeps the mystery alive but also forces the characters, and us, to reconsider everything we thought we knew. Gleb Stubbins isn't just a random new suspect. He's someone who has been lurking in the background of Sazz's life. So the killer could very well be Gleb, or maybe it's Charles's new stunt double. In a previous video, I pointed out how Charles suspected it to be two killers from having an awkward encounter with Eugene Levy dressed as him. But there were actually three Charleses: Charles himself, Eugene Levy, and also the stunt double. And if you look closely, he looks like the guy who entered Charles's apartment before Sazz got killed. Could they be looking at the wrong stuntman?
We've got one hell of a podcast.
And yes, we've been keeping up the ruse and
Oh, God.
cashing his checks.
We're going to jail.
At its core, Episode 8 delves into the theme of loyalty, not just among the Westies, but also within the Only Murders team. The decision to keep the Westies secret, allowing them to continue living in the illusion that Dudenoff created, speaks to the bond that Mabel, Charles, and Oliver have with the idea of found family. It's a complicated moral decision. On one hand, the Westies participated in a cover-up, but on the other, they did so out of love and loyalty to someone they considered family. The episode challenges us to question how far we would go to protect the ones we love, even if that means hiding the truth. In the end, Episode 8 leaves us on the edge of our seats, with more questions than answers. Dudenoff's death may be resolved, but the murder of Sazz is far from over. The final twist sets the stage for a thrilling climax, as the Only Murders team shifts their focus to uncovering the truth about Gleb Stubbins and his potential role in Sazz's untimely demise. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.